I want to be an artist. It's not like a profession that you choose. It's something that comes from within, and either you have it or you don't. It's whatever you have inside of you that makes you different, that sets you apart, because you are following your heart and your own God-given passion and talent. I began, first started doing sculpture in '93. It was an elective class at USL, and the next thing I know, that was really my favorite medium. I'd always been an artist of some sort. I've always drew and did other things like that, but I never really had decided on a particular medium until I had taken this class, and after that it really just kind of took off. So I had about $2,000 in savings, and I put in my notice, quit my job, and just started working. When I first started, we used, in the classes, they taught us to use mallets and chisels and hand saws, and I was real strict about that for about a year maybe, and somebody had talked me into using a chainsaw just to block out, just to get the basic shape to save some time. I got to the point where I could do, a lot of the work with just that saw. As it went on, it just continued to develop, and I call it modern primitive because I consider it, a lot of my influences are from the art of primitive cultures, of African tribal and ancient Egyptian work, yet at the same time I'm using motor and engine driven tools, chainsaws and angle grinders and welding machines and things that primitive cultures didn't have, but at the same time it still has the feel, so it's kind of an oxymoron, but that's the concept there. I think the animals, the fish, the turtles, the forms, they're things that people can relate to and enjoy looking at, and they understand what they're looking at, even though all of my work has a stylized abstraction. I would say a minimal abstraction compared to, say, Mondrian, which is all totally cubistic and geometric shapes. I think art is important, of course, on dozens of levels, and the definition of artist is expansive. There's musicians and writers and visual artists, that goes on, but basically for me, the importance is that I'm doing what I love. I'm doing what I have a gift for, what I'm good at. And there's an art to everything when there's a passion for it, when people love what they're doing. And you can see it when somebody loves what they're doing, and it creates a positive energy that draws people in. There's something about coming up with a concept and then having to figure out a way to actualize it, to make it work, to make materials come together. Because it's one thing to get an idea, it's another thing to even get it down on paper, and then entirely another thing to make it realized. And everyone, whatever their field is, whatever their particular, whatever's their thing, everybody has that kind of a connection with what they do, and it's a satisfaction of getting to that point of accomplishment, of making something work that shouldn't have worked, or coming up with something that nobody else thought of. There's almost a cartoon-like quality to some of my work that kind of is just has a happy feeling to it, I guess. Some people just enjoy that. There's a range in my work where some of it is more fun and some of it is more serious, and I think it's important to have that range, not only for myself, but for the fact that it reaches more people. There almost is a searching in art. I think every artist is searching within themselves for answers to sometimes they don't even know what the questions really were. It's about the process. It's about just getting out there and doing it. I had run into one of my mentors a while back, Elmer Morgan Jr. He was doing some sketches at the Crawfish Festival, and I asked him, I said, you know, what kind of tips can you give me about, you know, promoting, and where should I go next, and what should I do? And he said, you know, he said, don't worry about all that. He said, just keep doing what you're doing. Do what you love. Make yourself known. Be out there, but just keep working. He said, if it's meant to happen, it's going to happen. As far as definition of success, I wake up every morning and do what I love. And everybody applauds me for it. How many people can say they do that? You know, I've achieved success 100 times over already. But even if I woke up tomorrow and nobody ever bought anything again, I don't think I would stop doing it. The thing is that inspiration is everywhere. And it's in nature, it's in people, it's in other artists' work. And when you're an artist, that's just how you look at everything. You look at everything as a potential for how can I incorporate this into what I do, and how can I change and evolve. And honestly, it's not a matter of coming up with ideas. I never wake up and say, oh man, what am I going to do today? I can't think of anything. It's a matter of, man, when am I going to have enough time to do all this stuff that I have ideas for?